Good morning, good afternoon, good night, whatever time you're able to watch this. Today's Chamber webinar series is on Twitter. We're going to start with when it started. In 2007, Twitter was incorporated. However, Twitter actually started in 2006. As you can see from this is a tweet from March of 2006 from Jack Dorsey, the originator of Twitter. But what is Twitter now? Twitter is now active with 271 million active users. What does that mean? There are more users than that. However, these are the people that post regularly. These folks send an average of 500 million tweets a day. They are headquartered in San Francisco, as you can see from their homepage. They do have a blog.twitter.com, that gives businesses tips and updates about changes and little quick tips about marketing on Twitter and advice, best practices, things like that. Strive to give everyone the power to create and share ideas and information instantly without barriers. That's their mission statement. So what does this mean for a business? For a business, Twitter is a way to share information on the services they offer, gather market information, and build relationships with customers. We use it to share information. Short, sweet, hard to beat, I guess you could say, is what Twitter is. It's 140 characters, so you've really got to make it concise. But what I'm going to show you is escape from this for a second and show you story of a Twitter as told by Twitter. What is a tweet? Ellen DeGeneres took a star-studded selfie at the Academy Awards, and it became the most retweeted image ever. What does that mean? Okay, a tweet is an expression of a moment or an idea and can contain text, photos, videos, and like I said, 500 million are shared every day. So what does this mean? As you can see from Ellen's tweet on the left, if only Bradley's arm was longer, best photo ever. That's a selfie to the extreme. You've got Julia Roberts and everybody in there. So Ellen challenged during the Academy Awards people to retweet. Millions of people retweeted it in 1 second and actually crashed Twitter that night. So what do I mean by retweet? Some people you can reply to. Ellen didn't ask for replies. She asked for retweets. But a reply is you're going to do an @ sign as well as the person's username, like Ellen's is @the Ellen Show. If I wanted to reply to her, I would start with that and then would ask a question, make a statement, whatever, to join in the conversation. Now, retweet's what she asked. So you're asking other followers to share your ideas, share your thoughts, and pass it forward. There's other options. You can favorite a tweet to let the author know that, hey, this is pretty cool. But there's also hashtags. Hashtag is a #, and it's a topic. What do I mean by topic? For an example, lately the World Cup just kind of wrapped up, so hashtag World Cup was trending. Twitter uses the # hashtags to link conversation and let you know what other people are saying. You can see over on the left, and again at Ellen's example, the hashtag Oscars. So who was watching the Oscars, they too could engage in that conversation and see other people's having conversations related to that topic. To continue, where do tweets live? They live on Twitter. Most people access Twitter from their phones, but tweets instantly show up on a timeline. So if I follow Ellen DeGeneres, her tweets show up as she posts them. You can follow friends on Twitter, celebrities, news resources like CNN and CNBC, and all of those folks have Twitter accounts, and they tweet live news as it's happening. But for a person with a Twitter account, what does this mean for you? Well, you can compose a tweet. You see the little kind of pen with the feather. You write a short statement, 140 characters. You can post a photo. You can post a video. You can also get notifications at the bottom. You see when someone retweets or favorites one of your tweets, it lets you know. Or if somebody tags you in a tweet, like the @ sign, and mentions you, it'll let you know of that as well. There is a message section now so that people can have private conversations if wanted, but most people don't utilize that. Then there's your me section. That's your profile. Lists your followers, lists your tweets, and lets the people know what you're posting for those of folks that want to follow you. Now, what does it mean when you see the little plus sign at the top? You can search people by their username. You can, that way when you exchange information with somebody, you can search them and contact them via Twitter. What do you tweet? The best tweets are like moments, meaningful moments for people. It could be big, it could be small. I like the example that Twitter gives: quote your grandma, share a photo. Twitter does on Vine, which is a 6-second video, so you can even share that. But you want to share interesting things to you that your followers will also find interesting. So that's the story of a tweet. We share things live from events, we post videos, we post pictures, all of this stuff, and you want this content to be shareable. So for a business, it's a way to engage in conversations with your customers. What do you, as a business, use Twitter for? Well, you're going to use it to listen. You're going to use it to learn. Customers will make complaints. They will give you props. They will give you kudos. You will find out quickly on Twitter what works and what doesn't. A lot of businesses run exciting promotions on Twitter, exclusive to Twitter. So like Shop Small Saturdays coming up in November for a small business. If you run a promotion, especially for that day, you can share it on Twitter only and see how much response you get, and then tell people that ask if you have any sales, hey, I post all my sales on Twitter, and then that way they follow you on Twitter to stay up to date on what's going on. Engage customers in what's next. Some businesses will give online sneak peeks behind the scenes as to what's next for their business. So keep those loyal customers engaged. What's your competition doing? Twitter's a great way to kind of spy on your competition, see what's working for them. But the important thing is to also teach all of your employees about it, because they're going to be the one telling people to follow you, and then the conversation goes on from there. So how do you get started? Well, you just go to twitter.com and you can sign up. But the first thing it'll ask you for is a user handle. What do I mean by user handle? The @ sign is what your user handle is. You're going to say @ like ours is @ Calhoun Chamber. This one is @ Barista Bar. So these are ways that people will find you. They will search at your business name. If there's more than one business with your name, like we'll use Wiggs Wheels as an example. If there's more than one Wiggs Wheels in the United States per se, and Wiggs Wheels @ Wiggs Wheels is already taken, we could do @ Wiggs Wheels AL for Alabama or something along those lines. But that's how people are going to find you, so make sure it's easily found. The next thing to look at is your profile photo. The Barista Bar uses their logo, which is a great practice, because when you retweet, when you talk to somebody on Twitter, that's what's going to be the thing that shows up. So if you're especially proud of your branding or working on your branding, you're going to want to tie that in with your logo as your profile picture. It's a square. It's 400 by 400 pixels, so keep that in mind. And if your logo is not a square, sometimes you can reshape your logo to match. The header, as you see, they have coffee beans. They're a barista bar, so that's pretty smart. But use something to showcase your brand, something that's unique to your identity maybe your storefront, something that's going to create visual in your customer's mind. Or 500 pixels by 1,500 pixels. The bio is listed under the profile picture and under your user handle. It's short to the point, generally 160 characters, but keep in mind, keep it short. Don't write a novel, but cover your brand, your products, your services with a link to your website. They do allow a link to the website at the bottom. So if you wanted to link to your website and that always showed up, you can use that space for that. The next thing that's really important is obviously content. The important thing to do as a business is find your voice on Twitter, create shareable content, and then plan it out. Happy Monday, Tuesday tips, Hump Day, Throwback Thursday, and do the hashtag TBT to join in the rest of the conversations. But Fun Things Friday, there's all these great ideas that businesses use. Use them too. Join the conversation. So what do you do as a business? Well, you can use Twitter ads or promoted tweets, and that's highly suggested. However, it's really important to integrate it in your marketing. Put a follow us on Twitter on your door. Provide exclusive content and tell people you're providing that exclusive content on Twitter. Like this one right here, they have come get 10% off your order this morning when you say it's tea time. Make that exclusive to Twitter, and you'll know how many people are getting information from that. Help customers with immediate replies. Delta Faucet, they give a kind of advice or a tip for customers, but let customers know that Twitter is a way to get in touch with you. Say, if somebody was trying to get in touch with Wiggs Wheels, they could do at Wiggs Wheels, hey, I've got a flat, how can I change it? And he could maybe walk them through it on Twitter. Other things to do is to get people to tag you. Tell people to tag you. You can see Katy Perry tagged Starbucks in a tweet because she stopped drinking her favorite coffee, and Starbucks responded by saying, "It's okay." It's going to be a trial and error thing. Please utilize other resources like Vines, which are 6-second videos to do behind the scenes and engage your customers. But also keep in mind, for trial and error, check your analytics. What's working, what's being shared, monitor the trends, monitor your industry, and learn from other best practices. So, possibilities are endless. Join this largest real-time conversation website. Create a dialogue between you and your customers that interests your customers and connects you and your customers, that really connects us all. But join the conversations, and after all, the conversations bring customers. Twitter has great advice pages. One of them is their success stories, and it has what can your business do in just 140 characters. What can your business do? What are the possibilities? And they give great examples. But you can go to business.twitter.com/success stories to see this video. But to give you some best practices to leave on, Twitter linked to these two pages. So I'm going to show you some great success stories. This is Whipped Bakeshop in Philadelphia. When they first came onto Twitter, they wanted to be the first customer or the first business on people's minds when they thought of a bakery. So how did they do that? How did they create their brand? First of all, they started sharing pictures of cakes. They actually sync their Instagram to their Twitter, which is really smart. So they linked to this picture, which is really smart. You're giving the customer a picture of your product, of your service. But they also wanted people to think local. So they're asking people to tag them in things. They're tagging Philadelphia in things because that's where they're from. So they're engaging in the conversation, other conversations that might be trending. But they also encourage sharing and saying thank you. If a customer tags them in a photo of a cake that they made, they will respond by just saying thanks. And a simple thank you goes a long way, especially with customers these days. Another example are the Junk Gypsies. You may know them from GAC now, but they didn't start out with a TV show. They built their brand to get a TV show. And that was their challenge when they first joined Twitter. How do you create a brand? So what they decided is they personally managed their Twitter page, which is very smart because no one knows your business better than you. It's authentic, it gives them their own voice, and people know it's them. But they also follow a calendar. Everything is planned out. They know when they're tweeting and what they're tweeting, with events they're involved in, tips for people, how to make it, DIYs and things like that. And then they give people a look. They created a brand that truly represents who they are. Twitter is an awesome way to do that. So please, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to call us at the chamber. But please take this into consideration and make a Twitter page. This is how people are talking now, and this is how people are getting their information. So really consider it